Hello, Michael Swain here after Kansas basketball 78-65 win over Houston here inside of Allen Fieldhouse. That was an incredible game and one of the best college basketball atmospheres I've experienced in my time covering Kansas. I don't know if it's quite at the level of West Virginia, KU back in the 2016-17 season, but it's up there for one, I think, of the best game environments post-COVID. The pregame atmosphere was incredible. I think the light show, the music, that has contributed to the atmosphere here, but look, it comes down to the fans, and I thought the KU fans in attendance today really made it a special occasion. And I encourage you to watch Kelvin Sampson, the Houston head coach, his post-game press conference, because he made some really interesting comments about the game, the building, and just everything going on. Obviously, KU was technically an underdog in this game according to Las Vegas. I think there are a lot of people who would tell you that that's a silly notion. Kansas should probably be favored every game that's played inside of Allen Fieldhouse. But I think in terms of the performance for KU, outside of maybe a 4-minute stretch in the second half, I thought this was maybe the most complete game KU's played all season. And there's something to be said for this team's ability to rise to the occasion, right? We've seen it a few times this year. You look at the Kentucky game early, you can look on the road, environments where KU has struggled, but these big games, KU just shows up, right? I think about Tennessee in the Maui Invitational. You think about UConn here in Allen Fieldhouse. KU, this team just has an ability to rise to these big moments and put together really good games and come out with the big wins. Obviously, in the long run, correcting some of those road issues and becoming a more consistent team at playing to that ceiling is what's going to allow KU to be really good in the back half of Big 12 play. But I just thought everything that KU needed in this game, the intensity on defense and on the glass was there. I thought someone like KJ Adams had a fantastic game. He isn't going to get a bunch of rebounds in this one, but the effort he had blocking guys out, and the same thing for Kevin McCullough and Hunter Dickinson. They spent so much effort and energy blocking out some of those tall Houston front court players and really made it tough for them. And in the end, KU out-rebounds Houston 40-22. And look, you can't grab rebounds if the other team is making all their shots, and KU shot the ball at an incredible clip. Over 65% from the field, the highest clip that Houston has allowed this season. The rebounding margin was the most Houston has allowed this season. Like, this was a performance from Houston that was not great, but it kind of goes back to the old adage that Bill Self says a lot. You have to make teams play poorly. And things that KU did took away some of the strengths that Houston had. Someone like, Shed for Houston has been one of the best players in the Big 12. He didn't look like it today. LJ Cryer, KU fans have seen him go off in this building before, and he does it in the second half, but it's a little too late. And so I just look at this team, and playing this well in this game, I think, has to give you some hope for in the long run in some of those big games that are going to come down the stretch, whether it be at home, on the road. KU's going to show up in those contests. I think it's now a question of, all right, in these games like Monday at Kansas State, or when KU goes on the road to play Oklahoma, is this same level of performance there? Because if it is, KU is one of the best teams in the country. But I think that's the long-term issue, is can the consistency continue to show up? In terms of the other individual performances, Johnny Furphy continues to be a beast. For a good portion of the game there, he looked like one of the best players on the floor. And this was in a top 10 matchup in February. Like, that was not on my bingo card to start the season. He's been immense. The three-point shooting, the efficiency in which he scores, his off-ball movement is stellar. KJ Adams' passing today was a huge asset for KU because DeJuan Harris, Houston did its best to take DeJuan Harris out of the game, make sure he could not create. Kelvin Sampson said during the week that Harris is the straw that turns the drink for KU, and you could see that by the way Houston tried to play KU. And this is why having someone like Adams in the lineup, who, yes, he has deficiencies shooting the ball, but I think in terms of the creating that he can do in certain situations is there, and it's very important. And then, of course, there's Hunter Dickinson, who has been as advertised. He's just been incredible. He shows up every game, and he plays in a crowd some games, and in games like tonight, he really battles. And you can see, I think, the difference with him when he does have energy and when he might be a little tired. Because when he's tired, the rebounds don't necessarily fall his way. Some of the jump shots and some of those touch shots around the rim aren't as soft, but I thought he was stellar tonight. So overall, a really great win for KU. Obviously now 6-3 in the conference, one game behind first place. A great spot to be in, all things considered, and now it's going to be about for KU stringing together some of these good weeks. KU has Monday, Saturday, the next 2 weeks. You go to K-State, at home to Baylor next week. Then they go to Texas Tech before they go on the road then to play Oklahoma. So I think it's a really huge stretch for KU. Obviously, Texas Tech has played really well this year. That's going to be a huge game. But one game at a time for KU at this point in time. And overall, just a great game and a great college basketball day here in Lawrence. So as always, stay tuned to Fog.net. Got plenty of coverage coming your way post-game and all week.